Welcome to a lesson of geometry for Mr. Harmless. This works for any period of geometry that you have with me. We're starting the next unit today, which means we'll be taking notes. These are the notes that I'm going to give during class time, but I thought I would also record them just for you. Okay, so let's start with section 2.7. Remember, I give bonus points for notes, so if you keep these notes, lesson 2.7, these can work for you. Transversals. What a transversal is, let's say you have a couple of lines, okay? And let's say you have a third line, and let's say this third line intersects both of these two, okay? So let's say it goes like this, and intersects both of these, okay? This line is called a transversal because it transverses over these other two lines. So this is a transversal. So for the rest of this unit, this lesson, the rest of the school year, if I talk about a transversal, I'm talking about a line that intersects two other lines. Okay? Now, when you have this scenario happen, you will have what are known as interior and exterior angles. Interior angles, okay, let's do green, would be this angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle. These are all in the interior. This is the interior, okay? It's between the two lines. It's like a sandwich. This is on the inside of the sandwich, interior. Exterior angles would be the angles that are not between the two lines. And so this one, this one, this one, and this one are all known as exterior angles. This is the exterior out here. Okay, so exterior, outside, interior, inside. Okay, that's an important little concept. In fact, it's going to be really important for the next few definitions that I give to you. Okay, so let's move to the next part. Let's start with what are known as alternate interior angles. The word alternate means like alternating, switching one side to the other side, that's switching back and forth, right? So alternate interior angles, okay, alternate interior angles, examples of alternate interior angles. Okay, so you can have some questions that say, list the pair of alternate interior angles. One of those pairs of alternate interior angles would be this one and this one. Okay, so angle 3 and angle 6. Notice they're on different sides of the transversal, but they're both on the interior. Okay, I wouldn't say 3 and 4, even though they're on alternating sides. 3 and 4 have a different name. They are called a linear pair. That's something that we already learned. But 3 and 6 would be alternate interior angles, which means you would also have 4 and 5. Angle 4 and angle 5 are also alternate interior angles. Don't be confused and think that it's always the number 4 and the number 5. That's not what makes them alternate interior. What makes them alternate interior is they're on alternating sides of the transversal and they're both on the interior. Okay? Those are alternate interior angles. Alternate exterior angles, okay, same idea. Alternating sides. So let's go with angle 1. So let me switch to red here. Angle 1 and angle 8. Alternating sides, both on the exterior. So angle 1 and angle 8 are alternate exterior angles. The other pair of alternate exterior angles would be angle 7 and angle 2. Those would also be considered alternate exterior angles. Okay. The next are what are known as consecutive interior angles. Consecutive means if two things are consecutive, it's one after the other. Okay, so consecutive numbers would be like the number 2 and the number 3. Okay, consecutive interior angles are dealing with angles that are on the same side. In fact, sometimes they're actually called same side interior. Consecutive interior, the same side. And so 3 and 5 would be consecutive interior angles. Those would be consecutive interior. And the other pair of consecutive interior would be 4 and 6. They're consecutive, and they're both on the interior. Consecutive, both on the interior. They're right next to each other, both on the interior. Same side and interior. The last one is what is known as corresponding angles. They correspond to each other. Okay, so in a picture like this, in this scenario with two lines and a transversal, we would have 4 different pairs of corresponding angles. The first one would be angle 1 and angle 5. So notice for angles to be corresponding, one is on the inside, one is on the outside, one's interior, one exterior, but they both kind of occupy the same location. Both of them top left, top left. Okay, so angle 1 and angle 5 would be corresponding angles, which means you can probably guess that angle 2 and angle 6 are also corresponding. Angle 2 and angle 6 are also corresponding angles. Angle 3 and angle 7 would also be corresponding. Okay? And then we also finally have angle 4 and angle 8 would be corresponding. Those are all corresponding angles. Let's try some practice. I would encourage you to pause for a minute and see if you can answer these questions. It's simply asking you to classify the relationship between each pair of angles as alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, or consecutive interior. So you're going to look at this shape, and you're going to look where these 2 angles are and determine which ones does this work. So you should pause, try to figure them out real quick, and then restart the video. I'm guessing you didn't pause it. You should pause it. But did you pause it? Okay, hopefully you paused it. You didn't, did you? That's okay. All right, so let's try to answer these. So this first one here, 1 and 5. So I'm looking at angle 1. I'm looking at angle 5. Notice, kind of have to tilt your head sideways. The interior is between the 2 lines, so these are exterior angles, and they're not on the same side of the transversal, so that means they're alternate exterior. Okay? 6 and 7. Angle 6 and angle 7. 6 is here, 7 is here. They're on the same side of the transversal, and they're both on the interior. That makes them consecutive interior. Now, if any one of these don't make sense, you might want to rewind and listen to what I'm saying before I tell you what they are, or you can ask me in class. The next pair, 2 and 4. 2 is here, 4 is here. Notice one's on the inside, one's on the outside, on the same side of the transversal. That is what is known as corresponding. Two and 6. Angle 2, angle 6. Notice opposite sides of the transversal, so you know they're going to be alternate. And they're both between the 2 parallel lines, so alternate interior. Okay. If you have any questions on any of this, please feel free to ask me in class. This ends part 1 of this lesson.